did.
Yeah, Alice.
All right.
The director's not paying you any attention, I'll get on him for you.
Sweet little Alice
Yeah, but you
voice.
damn boy. You don't know me.
Okay, we're about ready to call this meeting to order, please. You all take a seat.
He is so unruly.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, you stand. Meeting is called to order for the regular October 16th meeting of the Sumner County School Board. And if you would like to stand and join with me in a moment of silence, and then we'll have the pledge following that. Thank you. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The first order of business is we have a roll call, please.
Yes, ma'am. All members are present except for Mr. Daniels and Chairman Brewer.
All right, thank you. The next order of business is the adoption of the regular agenda. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve the adoption and motion to adopt the regular agenda.
Okay.
Second.
All right. Motion's been made and seconded to adopt the regular agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the next item of business is the approval of the consent agenda. Is there a motion?
Motion approved.
Okay.
Second.
All right, thank you. Motion made and seconded to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next order is consideration of minutes.
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, second, Ms. Sarah. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We don't have any delegations tonight, I don't believe. Okay. And no matters involving council? Okay, all right. Dr. Phillips, if we report from you?
Just one thing, we appreciate you guys moving around our meetings. Next Tuesday, we will have meeting at 6 o'clock up in the gym. All of you know the renovated gym that we, our maintenance crews did. We will, at 5:15, we will have a meal together at 5:15. I know. So I didn't want anybody to show up at 6 after we're all happy because we just got through eating Top Hog.
Oh.
JJ twisted. I wanted something healthy, and JJ twisted my arm, so we're having Top Hog. So just be prepared. I wanted salad, and JJ didn't want me to go with it. So 5:15, show up. We're going to eat together, and then 6 o'clock we'll start the meeting. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay, under new business, we have discussion or action regarding the naming of the Hendersonville High School football press box for Coach Bruce Hatfield.
Yes,
Yes.
Madam
Yes,
Vice
ma'am.
Chair. Thank you. Board, as we, as I mentioned at our last study session, and because of the order that we're doing and we're following in October, I had asked if we could bring to discussion, and I'm asking that we bring to the vote, that this count for our second reading as well, before football season's over, that we officially name the press box at Hendersonville High School Stadium after Bruce Hatfield.
I so moved.
If you, thank you.
Is there a second?
I don't think anybody's gotta be convinced about Coach Hatfield.
Is there a second, please?
Second.
All right, Mr. Wilkerson. Thank you. Any more discussion?
Would you allow me just to share for the record
Of
a little
course.
bit about Coach Bruce
Of
Hatfield?
course, please.
And thank you, Board. In Coach Hatfield's 20-year tenure, he led Hendersonville High School football to its only 4 state runner-up finishes. Finished with a 159-82 record, with Class A 5A runner-up finishes in 1998, in 2001, and 2010. and a Class 6A runner-up in 2013. Coach Bruce Hatfield is the definition of commando pride. A man of integrity and a strong work ethic. You know, Coach Hatfield, he invested in the lives of his football players. And I know firsthand what an impact he has made. Our son, Chas, played football. Once a commando, always a commando. And he had the privilege of playing under the instruction and teaching of Coach Hatfield. Coach Hatfield coached football, yes, but it was a whole lot more than that. It was about investing in the lives of these young men. Coach Hatfield, along with his staff, these were men that they were developing strong character. They were preparing these boys to become men. And now my son's married and father of twins. And still the commando pride there in him. I ran across this, and this just best described some things that I believe he has taught every one of his players. If some of you all may know Drew Maddox, who was a star basketball player at Vanderbilt, grew up in this community. He's the coach at CPA now, basketball coach. I found this where Drew had posted, we're Facebook friends. I watched Drew Maddox grow up. Great team cultures have these things. And this is what the culture of commando football under Bruce Hatfield manifested itself as. Great team cultures have selflessness, agreed upon values, all-in commitment, teachable attitudes, zero entitlement, love that one, intense work ethic, a common respect for each other, great communication, and unconditional love. I thought that best described commando football under Bruce Hatfield. And that's why I would bring to this board and that we vote in favor of naming the press box at Hendersonville High School after Coach Bruce Hatfield. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hayes. That was a wonderful tribute to him. So, very good. Very good. So a motion's been made and seconded, and any more discussion?
Yes,
Yes.
Madam Chairman, I think it's just especially fitting and appropriate that the press box, which is that tool of communication to the world beyond the immediate field, also is going to be reflecting Coach Hatfield's name, because he believed in communication beyond the field, out into the community. I think it's a very fitting honor for him. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hawkins. Any more comments, please? Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Thank you. We will now have the press box named after Coach Hatfield. What a wonderful tribute for him. Thank you. Next item of business is discussion or action regarding final release of retainage for the Guild Elementary project.
Motion approved, Madam Chair.
All right.
Second.
All right. Motion been made and seconded to final release of the retainage. All in favor? Opposed? Okay. Motion carries. The next item on business is discussion and or action regarding textbook adoption committee recommendation. Okay.
Second.
Okay. Motion has been made and seconded to adopt the committee recommendation for the textbook. Any discussion?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Mr. Weiss.
Is that one, Dr. Phillips, is that one the first reading on this?
This is the committee, this is the membership of the textbook adoption
Oh,
committee
okay.
that you're
I'm so
voting on.
sorry.
And so what this is these are the staff members, teachers from different grade bands that are going to be looking at the textbooks. So what textbooks are up for adoption, Scott?
Social studies.
All you're doing right now is just approving the list of staff members that will be on the committee. Is that correct, Scott?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a process. Once they go through all the approved textbooks and pick the one that they're gonna recommend that we purchase, and that's down the road for another a vote way down the line.
Okay, Ms. Andrews?
Yes, I just have a quick question. With middle school and high school, I'm showing there's a couple of those schools that are not represented. Obviously, our elementary schools, we cannot have all of those schools necessarily represented. But middle and high school, there's a couple that are not listed. Will they have representation?
Scott, how do we do that?
I think part of it is that we're on kind of a tight time frame. So if we need to get something approved so we can get the ball rolling. We can always just, state law says that we have to have board approval to put people on the committee. Some schools haven't responded yet, so I think what we can do is if we want to add others, we can just bring it back and add them to the committee as, kind of like we're doing tonight. But we really have to get the ball rolling in terms of meeting the time frame to be able to get all the review practices.
But information has gone out to all of the schools to
Yes.
have that opportunity.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we ask, is that correct? We send out and we ask, and in some schools they have teachers that love to do that, and others maybe not. So we'll look at that and see. Maybe those principals could encourage some people to do that. No problem.
Okay, Mr. Hawkins?
I had two questions. First question was the same as Ms. Andrews about some high schools and middle schools not being on this particular first round. We have only a single parent, and that's in connection with the middle school curriculum. Is there the opportunity to have parent membership in the elementary and high school
We typically have one parent,
committees?
I think, on the committee, but once the textbooks that we will select from, we do a pretty good job over the last 4 or 5 years of making those available to parents to view. We have brought them here before. We've also had them at Rigsby, and Jamie set up a space, and we've advertised that actually in the paper before for parents to know. We
Okay,
put it
good.
on our website.
So that opportunity is still part of the process?
Yeah.
Good,
Yeah.
thank you.
I think that's definitely part of the process. It's just they're not on the committee, but we still have input forms that they
Good.
can check out the materials and then bring them back. And so I think it's a pretty good process.
That's my question, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, are there any more comments or discussion? Okay, motion's been made and seconded to adopt the committee recommendations with the option of adding more members at a later date. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, under unfinished business, we have discussion and or action regarding amendments to the federal budget. Do I hear a motion? Second. All right, thank you. Motion's been made and approved, seconded to approve the amendment to the federal budget. All in favor? Approved? Thank you. Okay, next is discussion of study session items. Mr. Johnson?
We've got a couple of policies that we're going to be bringing before you that we need to discuss. And then we've also got one thing that I want to note to everybody is that tomorrow, Mr. Brown and his crew are going to start doing some boardroom renovations that we're going to be doing for, we're going to change the way we do the podium. We're also going to be changing the way that we do our camera room back here. So there's a slim chance that we may or may not be back here for the study session, depending on how the construction goes. We will be back here for the voting session, Mr. Brown has assured me. But just wanted to note that next time we're in here, you may notice some changes to the room.
Okay.
We're going to try to. Just so you know, we're going to try and, we're not going to try to. Mr. Brown's going to make it happen.
Okay.
We've had 2 people almost fall on that podium. So after the last incident, close call, I just said, let's change it. So we're going to put the speaker, we're going to build out on that side where there's a tabletop that continues out where they can lay certificates or materials that they're going to present or whatever, so they don't have to hold them and jumble them around. And then the podium will actually be there in front of the post, is where it will be. And that way they can see us, but they can also see the audience. It's always a little awkward because you want to talk to the audience, but you want to be respectful of the board. So we're just going to change it around a little bit. I think it'll make it flow better. It'll be permanent So, you know, I think that would be good too. So that's kind of part of what you're going to see.
We're also doing some things with the camera room back there, and there's going to be a window where they can see out and have a little bit better shot at shooting angles and seeing what's going on. And then we're also doing some rewiring because we still have. It's better than it used to be. In the olden days, if you put your foot in the wrong place in the camera room, we'd lose everything. They rewired that a couple years ago, but this will hopefully help clean some of that up too.
Quick question, for disciplinary hearings that are also held in this room on pretty much a rolling basis, will that particular podium structure facilitate those, or will it'll be used just for that as well?
Yes. And with disciplinary hearings, usually they sit right there.
Okay.
It's a little bit more informal, but we've made other arrangements for the next couple of weeks.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any more discussion? Okay, next item is comments from our board members. Ms. Hayes, would you like to start us off?
Yes, thank you, Miss Alice. I wanted to give a shout out to our Leadership Sumner people back there. Some of those I know really well. Oh yeah, glad you guys have joined us tonight. Yeah. Thank you for doing Leadership Sumner. These are our future school board members out there. That's right. Mm-hmm. Our city leaders and county leaders. I just want to make an overall, I guess from a high in the sky view. Across the county, the work that our businesses do, and I say work, the support they give our schools, the community involvement is so awesome. Different restaurants hosting spirit nights and helping soccer teams and volleyball teams and our athletics, just to support them, to raise money. Rucker Stewart's having a big community, like a big pep rally. It's just so exciting. And I know some of you may mention, we've got a lot of things coming up in all the different districts in our schools, and it's just really wonderful to have community working together. They are so supportive of education, and in our schools are in community. I think we do a great job of building those relationships in our community. So just great job. I love being a District 1 school board representative. It's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hayes. Ms. Andrews?
Yes, I just want to give a shout out to Station Camp and Portland Volleyball. Station Camp is actually fixing to start their game here in about 10 minutes. At the state tournament. This is the first time that they have been there, and then Portland is there defending their state title from last year. I did speak with some Station Camp parents earlier. I was able to go to the, let me think how it was, regional and then sub-state, I think it was the order it goes, and watched those games, and they were intense, and Station Camp was incredible, and fought some hard games. Today they played, I think it was Houston County this morning, and they had a tough loss in 5 sets. So they're fixing to play, like I said, here in just a few minutes. So wishing them the best, and then wishing Portland the best to bring back that state title again.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Andrews. Mr. Duncan?
I have nothing tonight, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Hawkins?
Just want to commend our schools for some exemplary academic and athletic performances. Sumner County had 25% of the 4 National Blue Ribbon academic schools named by the U.S. Department of Education. Merrill Hyde Magnet School was the only one in our area of northern middle Tennessee, and then there were, I think, 2 in Nashville, 1 in Williamson County. But that's a tremendous positive reflection on the staff, the administration, the students, the parents, the coaches, our SRO, and the central office team members who support our magnet school. We also had 2 student teams who have won state championships since our last board meeting. The Station Camp girls won the high school golf competition. They were a team 3 strong. They had an outstanding first day, which was very important because due to rain, they canceled the second day. And the high scores from the first day ended up winning the state championship. And we had a freshman who came in second in the state. And then there were 2 other members of the team who were sisters, who also competed last year and did an outstanding job. Finally, the Merrill Hyde Magnet School Middle School cross-country boys team won the state championship in cross-country boys. That didn't even exist when I was going through middle school, but our Merrill Hyde male runners did excellently, and they have won the state championship in middle school boys cross-country. I love that their sport, sometimes Chairman says, our sport is other sports' punishment. So that's, anyway, I just wanted to salute the academic performances and the athletic performances.
Thank you, Mr. Hawkins. Mr. Wise?
No comment, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Brown? Okay. Mr. Gregory?
Well, we'll continue on Miss Andrews' subject.
Of course.
Portland volleyball team, as you remember, they were here last year as state champions. And they won their first one today, 3-0. And I have learned since this meeting started that they won their second one, 3-0. Now the real schedule starts tomorrow. And that will be the team that we squeaked by last year in the final game, Knox Catholic. And they're good. I mean, it's no doubt about it. But we're not bad. And we may, I want to put that word may in there, be in the state playoff in football. Do what?
You are?
Well, it's math, you know, I know you're.
I promise you you're in.
And there will be other teams up here in the state playoff. Hendersonville will be, Beach will be, Gallatin, I'm not sure. Westmoreland will be, won't they? So we're gonna have several teams this year in the state playoff. Now, in the world of academics, I'd like to thank everyone. I know Mr. Langford was really probably leading the battle on this, but and I learned this last week, actually, at a volleyball game, that one of the kindergarten teachers in Portland had, I believe she used the word restored her score, and it took me in shock when I heard, well, she got a 1. And I mean, I've known her for a long time, and she has a girl that plays volleyball, by the way. But I believe she says she got a 5. Is that correct? Now, I mean, that's the only one I've heard from. Of course, I think they just got that word last week or week before last. Have any more? We won't go down the list, but have any more in the county that you know of got that?
We had some, not as many as it should have been, in my opinion, but we had more than, probably a lot of other districts got. So it was kind of a mixed bag. And, I will say that the new system's better. So I think we can figure it out so that doesn't happen again on those portfolios.
Well,
that process that was initiated by what we gave feedback to the state over the summer. The teachers had an opportunity and understood whether they were going to rescore or nullify or what, and that's already been done, right? Has that been done?
Yeah, I would almost need to draw you a flow chart to explain this process, but I can say, Dr. Phillips, from the moment I was actually picking my daughter up from soccer practice when the scores hit, and he and I talked that night, and then he is I don't know how to nicely say it, but kind of lowered the boom on the state on some key things about it, and they eventually listened to us, but you know, they instituted, and I would say largely because of the pressure that was put on them by Sumner County, Dr. Phillips, that they reinstituted a review process. So now teachers basically had the opportunity to get theirs rescored. If it was rescored, then you got that score. If it was not rescored, then you could vacate that score. And then if your school scores were bad because of the other testing irregularities and problems last year, you could nullify that score. So essentially they had a pathway to go back to what they had the previous year if it didn't work out.
Well, I think I spoke my mind on this whole thing earlier. I think it's ridiculous that they're doing it, firstly, but I know we don't have that, we don't get a vote on it, put it like that. But, I mean, for me, and I'm sure the other board members appreciate what you've done to, and let me tell you, there was one happy teacher. She was very good.
From 1 to 5, I guess so.
I believe that's all. I've talked enough.
I don't have any comments.
Pardon? Okay, Ms. Andrews has another comment.
Thank you, Ms. Bachman. I also wanted to share that with Mr. Wise's blessing, I spoke with him today, with Mr. Wise's blessing, myself and Commissioner Shell are going to take over the combined lunches that we were doing. And we will look at those, see which ones we've already attended, and kind of get a schedule together and get those restarted. So.
Right. Thank you, Ms. Andrews, very much. Thank you. The only comments that I have is I want to apologize for not expressing my gratitude to you all for voting me as and electing me as a vice chair at the last meeting. I didn't say that, and I do want to let you know that I appreciate it very much. I had I had some bad news earlier in the day, and my thinking was not quite as good as it should have been. But I do want to let you know that I appreciate your confidence and try to do my best to fill in. And maybe Tim will be back next time, so you won't have to put up with me. Okay. There were only a couple of things I wanted to mention. Again, to remind you of the retreat next Tuesday. And look forward to the meal and being able to be in the gym, which it doesn't look like a gym anymore. You guys did a fantastic job of restoring that, or redoing it. The Tennessee School Board Association Convention and Leadership Conference is coming up. I don't know if you all got your mailer, the journal, and the information is in here. I always go every year. It's very informative. There's some things that are repetitive, but there's a lot of information, and you have the opportunity to vote on issues during the delegate conference, but you do have to be registered in order to become a delegate. And that is the 1st to the 4th of November, and it will be at Opryland Hotel. And we always enjoy going. I know those of us that have gone each year have enjoyed it very much. So I urge you to go. Contact Jeremy, and he will be glad to put your reservation in. If there's any of the classes or the seminars that you want to take, let him know that so he can make sure that they know that we'll be attending as well. So having said all of that, unless there are any more comments, is there a motion to adjourn? All right. We are so adjourned.